Over the past couple of days here in Westminster, there's been a lot of speculation, huge speculation, that there might be an inflation-busting increase in the national minimum wage. Why? Well, because there's been discussions in Conservative circles that it might be politically beneficial to do so. For example, trying to put Labour in the back foot, fight in their territory, also to demonstrate that the Conservatives are on the side of hard-working families. But also, if you put the minimum wage up, then you lower the cost of tax credits, which are necessary to top up the income of people on very low wages. So there was an attractive political case for this. The question is whether the government would actually go through with it or not. The snag is, as you were suggesting, that the recommendation on the rate at which the minimum wage is paid is not something which government ministers take any part in initially. It's done by the Low Pay Commission. Now, the Lib Dem Business Secretary Vince Cable asked them to look at whether the economic conditions might be right for a higher than usual increase in the national minimum wage. The question is, though, that if the Low Pay Commission say, actually, we think only a modest increase is justified, a higher increase could cost jobs, would the Chancellor then overrule the Low Pay Commission and keep some of his own backbenchers and even some cabinet ministers happy? And today, I think he was pretty unequivocal. He said he's actually going to leave the decision to the experts.
Well, look, I think everyone wants to see an increase in the minimum wage. I'd like to see an increase in the minimum wage, but it has to be done in a way that doesn't cost people their jobs, because that would be self-defeating. And we have the Low Pay Commission as a body that exists to make exactly that judgment. And what we've got to do as a country is get that balance right between supporting business, growing our economy, and making sure it's a recovery for all. And that is what our long-term plan is all about delivering.
Now, what's interesting there is clearly George Osborne saying, look, I'm going to leave this to the Low Pay Commission, I'm not going to intervene. But he's actually got the support of senior Liberal Democrat ministers for that as well. They think an inflation-busting increase in the national minimum wage just ahead of the election will look like a gimmick. They say they're not going to help the Conservatives suddenly reinvent themselves, if you like, as the party of the lower paid. They say they'll back a big increase if the experts back it, but otherwise they're with the Chancellor and they want to, as it were, depoliticise this decision. Now, from Labour's point of view, what Labour is saying is that they do believe a significant rise in the minimum wage is necessary, but they're pleased that the Conservatives are at least having some discussions on this, because they believe that's moving them onto the territory of discussing the cost of living and away from more hostile territory for Labour, actually, which is the state of the economy and the recovering state of the economy. And what Labour will be doing, I think, in the next election is actually arguing for more than the minimum wage. They'll be saying that companies which want government contracts should pay an even higher level, what's called the living wage, which at the moment is around £1.50 an hour more than the national minimum wage. But this is an argument which will run for some time. We'll get that key recommendation from the Low Pay Commission in about 6 weeks' time.